How you going, guys? You've found yourself at a recipe to cook chicken tikka masala. It's really just a chicken curry of sorts. It's got some beautiful aromatic flavors and smells that you can just smell throughout the whole house. It's wonderfully easy to make, actually, so you guys don't need to worry about it being too technical. Yeah, let's get straight into it.
That was a pretty flash new intro, wasn't it, eh? Anyway, we're going to start with our curry paste that we're going to make from scratch. So we're just going to grab our bowl here, and into this bowl we're just going to stick in some fresh ginger. Now I've grated up about 3 inches of fresh ginger. Following that, I'm going to stick in 6 cloves of freshly grated or freshly chopped garlic. And we're going to stick in 1 tablespoon of mustard seeds. Now I've just had the mustard seeds over medium heat in a pan with a little bit of oil until they start popping. Once they start popping, we can put them into our mixture like I'm doing now. Following this, we're going to stick in 1 tablespoon of paprika. Get a nice big heaped tablespoon in there. It'll add to the colour later. And we're going to stick in 3 teaspoons of cumin powder. 2 teaspoons of coriander. Now it can be dried coriander. I've chosen to use some coriander seeds that I've just bashed up in the mortar and pestle. And I'm going to finally finish with 2 tablespoons of garam masala. This will really bring out the flavours, so if you want to put a little bit more in, that's fine. So this is our paste here. We're just going to mix it up until you get this sort of thick, really rich aromatic paste that we're going to use to marinate our chicken as well as in our sauce. So now we're going to work on our marinade for our chicken. I've got 2 chicken breasts that we've sliced up or diced up. I'm going to stick this into a nice medium bowl, and we're going to stick in our 2/3 of our spice mixture that we've made earlier. Okay, so following this, we can also stick in around 200 grams of yogurt. Or if you don't have a yogurt, and what I've done is use sour cream. It's practically the same thing, it's just given it a nice base to our marinade. So we can stir all this in, and ideally this should be left overnight for the flavours to work through. But if you're in a rush, this can be prepared on the same night. Chuck in the fridge for about an hour and get ready to cook it. Now we're going to move on to our sauce. We're just going to use the same pan that we used for our mustard seeds. It holds a little bit of flavour. So we're going to stick in 1 tablespoon of butter, melt it, and into it, this hot pan, we're going to stick in 1 onion that we've sliced up. It can be sliced in rings or half rings, it's really up to you. Now we're just going to lightly cook these for about 5 minutes until they start going translucent. And now we can stick in our spice mix, the spice mix that we didn't use, the third of the spice mix. So put this in with our onions and give it a mix around, and the flavours should really start becoming quite prominent, and they'll be released and making your kitchen smell pretty amazing. So just cook these until everything's really nice and soft. Okay, and once we've done this, our onions can come off the heat, so put them aside. And like I said, using the same pan, it's got all the flavours in it, we're going to cook our chicken. Okay, it's really important that our pan is really warm, really hot, because we're going to cook our chicken. So just lightly oil it and stick in our chicken that we've made earlier. It'll sizzle and carry on, but just cook it until your chicken is nice and tender. It shouldn't be too long, it's roughly about 10 minutes on a medium to high heat. And once we've done this, we can also take the chicken off the heat and just put it aside, and we can work on the remainder of the sauce so we can chuck in our chicken later. Okay, now we're going to stick our onions back in our pan, and following this we're going to stick in 2 tablespoons of tomato puree and just give it a nice mix around and let it cook there for a while. At this point you're going to add in around half a cup of water. You can always add some more later if your sauce is too thick, so don't add too much. So about half a cup of water, and like I said, let it simmer for a while before we stick in our cream. Now traditionally you can use your just normal double cream. I've opted to use coconut cream. The coconut has got a distinct flavour and I really quite enjoyed it with my curries. So I've used around 200 milliliters of coconut cream. So just put this in here, and now all we're going to do, it's a waiting game. We're just going to let the sauce simmer until it starts to thicken. Once it starts to thicken, we can stick in 1 tablespoon of garam masala and mix this in. Now at this point you can taste your sauce, and if it requires a little bit more salt, pepper, anything else that you might think it needs, now's the time to do it, because we're going to add it in our chicken that we've had sitting for a while. So put in our chicken, mix it around. Our sauce should be really nice and thick. The marinade from the chicken should work its way into the sauce, and you should be left with a really intense and rich sauce. You also at this point can add some sliced carrot. It's totally up to you. I quite enjoy it. It makes your meal go a little bit further. So it's up to you. Just stick with the traditional non-carrot version, or you can stick in some carrots. So this is essentially our tikka masala, and all we can do is just serve this on a bed of rice. Garnish with some fresh coriander, and if you're into it, some freshly baked naan bread. It's ideal to soak up all your leftover juices. Now there you have it. It's a fairly simple meal you can pull off. It goes quite a long way for quite a large family. It's relatively cheap, so there really is no reason why you cannot make your own chicken tikka masala. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Other than that, please enjoy.